Wow, have I really been gone that long? Also, when did Gay Banana change to a reddish color? That's new. So, hello everyone, my name is Sobic91, and as you can hear, I'm going to be speaking in this video for a change, instead of my usual approach of just putting text on the screen. Normally I don't speak because, well, I don't like speaking in my videos, mostly because I think my voice isn't the most pleasant thing to listen to. But for this particular video, which you've probably seen how long it is, I decided nobody wants to read text for that long in a video, so I decided to bite the bullet and record my voice this time. So what's this video all about? Well, as most of you know, I've kind of been missing from the internet for quite some time now, making a quick reappearance for the Sonic 2 Rescue Tales project, but other than that, it's kind of been radio silence. So I thought I'm going to show you what I've been working on. Sadly, progress is going really slowly with all my projects because I don't really have much time to work on Sonic projects, nowhere nearly as much as I would like to. But that slow progress is actually the very reason I decided to show them to you, because if I have to wait until they're done to show them to you, well, you're gonna be waiting quite a while. So I decided I'm going to do as much as I can by the end of the year, and whatever I think is showable, I will show. So let's start with a texture pack I like to call Shadow the Hedgehog DX. Now, let me make you a quick pitch. Have you ever played Shadow the Hedgehog, the game from 2005? Gotten to one of the Space Colony Arc levels, say for instance Space Gadget or Cosmic Fall, and thought to yourself, okay, these are the same levels from Sonic Adventure 2, visually speaking. It's the same assets, the same kind of visual identity, and it's running on a more powerful hardware. So how in the world did they manage to make it look worse? Well, I'm gonna tell you how. And it comes down to this. Shadow the Hedgehog, the game, absolutely loves two things: low resolution textures and artificially muting and dimming the colors of set textures. But let's first discuss the low resolution textures. And let's look at this area from Cosmic Fall. This is how this area looks in the vanilla game. And this is how it looks with the textures from Sonic Adventure 2. I mean, honestly, it's ridiculous. Like, it's unbelievable how low res these textures were. I mean, look at this. The difference is night and day. Now, granted, this is one of the more egregious cases, not all textures are that bad looking, but practically every reused texture from Sonic Adventure 2 looks worse. I mean, honestly, it's baffling. And you know, the Arc levels aren't the only levels that reuse SA2 textures. For instance, obviously, Prison Island reuses textures from SA2. Westopolis and Little Highway reuse textures from City Escape, from Radical Highway, and even from the Prison Island levels in SA2, if you could believe that. And they all look worse. And of course, Shadow the Hedgehog also likes reusing textures from Sonic Heroes, which also look worse. Now, as long as we're still on the topic of Space Colony Arc levels, let me show you another example. Before starting to work on this texture pack, I genuinely thought there is no way this planet texture is the same one from SA2. I thought they really changed it to some other texture that happened to be low res. But no, that is a reused texture from SA2. Just really obliterated smithereens in terms of resolution. I mean, what more can I say? Well, actually, there is something more I can show you. So let's look at the Space Colony Arc pathways really quickly. This is how they are in the vanilla game, and this is with Sonic Adventure 2's textures. Now, the only difference here isn't just the texture resolution. They actually made it darker. They dimmed the colors. And again, it's baffling. It's like they were afraid of putting too much color in it. Now, of course, this texture pack isn't just about reusing textures from previous games, because in Shadow Hedgehog there are obviously some levels that don't reuse textures from previous games. But even so, there are things that could be done to set textures to make it feel like those levels belong in the Sonic universe. For example, canyon levels, mountain levels and such in Sonic games historically have rocks that are very saturated orange or red, very vibrant. And that's of course what I've done for Glyph Mechanic in Shadow the Hedgehog, as opposed to what it looks normally, which is this. So yeah, I think this looks much more like it fits in with the world of the Sonic the Hedgehog. There are some levels which you might not be able to spot the changes immediately. This is because even though I am improving the visual look of the levels, I'm still trying to keep faithful to how they're supposed to look. Now, what do I mean by that? See, this texture pack is a bit inspired by another texture pack, the famous Shadow the Hedgehog Encore mode. And while the Encore mode makes very big changes to how the level looks, sometimes making them feel like they're completely different location, this texture pack still tries to keep the level as themselves. For example, this is Westopolis. In fact, it may be that you don't see anything different in it, not at the first glance, because I've tried to make it distinctly Westopolis, just the best possible version of Westopolis. But if we revert back to the vanilla version, yeah, you can probably spot the changes. There are higher resolution textures, there are more colors, it's a bit more vibrant, but still Westopolis, just better. There is actually one level for which I violated the rule of trying to keep it faithful. Well, actually two levels, but they look identical. And I'm actually going to give you the justification for breaking that rule. And see, the reason is, when I was a kid, when I was little, when I was playing Sonic Adventure 2, you know, the space colony arc, that's very interesting setting, and the levels are also interesting. But what I also found interesting was those areas that you only see in cutscenes. I really wanted to explore those because, well, they look a bit different than the levels. I wanted to walk around them, see, for example, in the cutscene where Sonic enters the research facility, I wanted to see what's in that corridor behind him. Of course, another one that was of interest to me was the cutscene where Shadow was running away with Maria, because that kind of floor that you see here, you only see in this one single cutscene, nowhere else in the game. And of course, when you get to Shadow the Hedgehog, there are levels that take place in the past, and well, they look nothing like the Space Colony Arc levels from SA2. And you know, one justification for that might be, well, those are the different areas of the Space Colony Arc, those are the corridor areas, the ones in the cutscenes of Sonic Adventure 2, but well, they look nothing like them either. And that was really disappointing for me, because there's a level that is the exact same event as SA2's running away from the gun soldiers, and well, it looks nothing like that. So I decided to make Lost Impact and the other level, which I forgot the name of, into those corridor spaces from SA2. And I think it's a much better alternative than just black walls everywhere. So while I could keep talking to you about this texture pack whole day, I think I'm going to get to the chase. See, while there are a lot of minute little details to touch up and polish, I think I'd say most of the project is complete. Like, all the major stuff is finished, so yeah, pretty close to completion. It's a bit funny actually. Shadow Hedgehog, the game, is now receiving some attention because of the release of Sonic X Shadow Generations, but I didn't even get inspired to do this texture pack because of Sonic X Shadow Generations. I actually started making this around, I think, February 2024, so before Shadow Generations was even announced. But yeah, a lot of people are probably going to revisit Shadow the Hedgehog the game now, and you know, I hope this is something they like, something that could make the experience better for them. Of course, there are other mods that also improve the experience in terms of gameplay, for example. The most notable of them being Shadow the Hedgehog Reloaded by Dream Syntax and Limitless Vector. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, and I think we're going to go to the next project, which funnily enough is also Shadow the Hedgehog related. Now, while the Shadow the Hedgehog texture pack has nothing to do with Sonic X Shadow Generations, the same cannot be said about this ROM hack. See, this was directly inspired by the work of a person known as JX. JX makes remixes of Sonic tracks, and recently he started making remixes of Sonic X Shadow Generations tracks in the style of Sonic Advance 3. Now, usually he has these little gameplay let's say demonstrations, and the very first one, the Space Colony Arc remix, is what pushed me a bit over the edge and made me go, okay, I'll do it myself, because I've always kind of wanted to see Shadow being added to the Sonic Advance games, and well, now I've started doing that. So shout out to JX for making these amazing remixes and starting me on this path. Of course, this is a work in progress, so you are going to see a lot of cameo appearances of Sonic. Now I know what some of you must be thinking. It's probably something along the lines of the, yes, we're finally getting Sonic Advance 3 ROM hacks. Well, fun fact, did you know that this, right here, what you're seeing, is actually not the first Sonic Advance 3 ROM hack. A guy by the name Blue Star Bomber actually made a ROM hack by the name of Sonic Advance 3 Advanced 1 Edit, which basically makes the running animation the same one as the running animation in Sonic Advance 1, and this ROM hack was actually made 2022, so a quick shout out to Blue Star Bomber for making the first Sonic Advance 3 ROM hack ever. And another very quick project, if you could even call it that, I decided to change Sonic's Trick Swirl back to blue, similar to what it was in Advance 2, because I really have no idea why they decided to change it to orange for Advance 3. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And now, moving away from Sonic Advance 3 and going into the popular fan remake Sonic Chaos. For those of you who, like me, are fond of the 16-bit Mega Drive Sonic games aesthetics, I've done a 16-bit style mod for Sonic Chaos, which actually is also very close to completion, as you can see, though I wouldn't recommend playing as Tails. But yeah, that's also another quick and fun one, so have fun with it. And now, for those who are anxiously awaiting Sonic Heroes Encore mode, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. Now, what you're seeing here isn't really a full update or anything like that. It's just adding handcuffs to the previous version of the mode, and there are absolutely no other changes besides that. As for the future of the mode, I would like to make custom level layouts for the super hard mode, and in fact some work on that has already begun. However, there is another Sonic Heroes mod I'm working on that I plan to merge with the Encore mode, but I have to finish that first before continuing work on the Encore mode, so it might take quite a while. However, rest assured, the Sonic Heroes Encore mode is not cancelled, it is still very much in development. So that's pretty much what I have to show for now. Happy New Year everybody, and I hope you have fun. See you around.